and getting started with Civil War civilian reenacting, we are going to talk about going to your first event. Now, in our last video, we talked about researching some events you're interested in. So now you've picked out your events. You have three options. Number one is you can go to them as a visitor, not dressed. The second option is you could go as a visitor dressed. Now, again, not all events will allow this, so you need to check. The third is that you can day trip, but still register. So not camp overnight if it's an overnight event, but come during the day, register, meaning you can stay after hours, and then stay outside at another campground or a hotel, or if it's near home, drive home, dressed. And then the fourth option is to go camp, stay overnight, and dressed. This is the highest level of involvement. My suggestion to get started is one of the middle two. You either go as a visitor dressed or you day trip. I would suggest registering and day tripping because, again, a lot of the really great interactions happen after hours when the visitors and the spectators have left. There's great things to do then. So that brings out, what do you need to prepare? Clothes to be dressed. But let's talk beyond that. There's really sort of four things you need to think about. Number one, you need to think about food. What are you going to eat? Oftentimes, events have food for sale, typically for the spectators and visitors. The easiest option, of course, is to eat this food. My suggestion is you do not bring this back into the period, but you eat where the visitors eat, and generally that's pretty acceptable because you're supporting the event. Another option is maybe someone in your unit or someone you know can feed you. That way you don't have to do as much research about period containers, period food, etc. And you can learn more and sort of, again, keep it simple. So that's food. The second thing is you need a home base. Why do you need a home base? You need a home base because otherwise you wander around sort of aimlessly. You can look at the events and then you pretty much get bored. You need a place to sort of camp down. Now, at some events, your home base cannot be with your military unit. And actually, at some events, you probably don't even want to wander in the military camp, particularly during the day when the public is there. Women did not go without an escort to a military camp. And so that's just a period etiquette that you need to keep in mind when you're wandering around. So hopefully, you have friends that are going to the event and you can ask someone in your unit, hey, can I come hang with you? Can I be in your home base? This way you can do the next thing, which is bring an activity, something that you want to do that's period appropriate. Easiest activity, obviously, is you have kids to bring toys and watch them. Sewing, I always have hand sewing to do, so simple activity. You could also bring a period book and read that, or some people bring a modern book and wrap it. That's never my favorite, but hey. So an activity to do. Just don't count on wandering around and looking at other camps to be your full day's activity. You want to bring your own period activity. And this brings the fourth thing, seating. Reenacting is BYOC, bring your own chair. Reenacting chairs sometimes are fragile. It's sort of a faux pas to assume that someone is going to have seating or to sit in someone's chair without asking. Personally, I've had antique chairs ruined by people sitting in them, and so we all are a little leery about having other people sit in our chairs. Now, easy option if you're young and flexible and routinely sit on the grass is to make a whole cloth quilt. Here's a picture of one that I've made that we use a lot. Again, I sit on the ground all the time. I have 2 young children, so yes, I can just sit down in my hoop and it's perfectly period appropriate. So a lot of times when I'm trying to travel light, this cloth is what I bring. I also have a couple chairs that I bring, but it gets kind of awkward to bring toys and an activity and a chair. Sometimes I'll bring one for me and the kids sit on the ground. Don't forget to take a chance to wander around because this will start giving you ideas of activities you can do and things you might want to do at future events, whether they're self-focused like sewing, group-focused like a quilting event, or public-focused like a display or a setup that you can interact in. It's intended for the public. So that's another thing to remember, is wander around and get ideas, talk to people. If you don't have a group, that's another great way. So just to recap, you need food. You can eat the event food or have someone bring food for you. You need a home base. If you don't have people you know at the event, you can set up your own home base, but it's great to have friends to hang on with. You need an activity, something to do, and you need something to sit on. So hopefully this has been helpful. Stay tuned for our next installment. Thanks for watching. Bye!